We close the book on week one of the high school football season with a little Saturday night action here at Alumni Stadium at Jackson High School, as we will hear from the Jackson Marching Ironmen the playing of our national anthem. Our national anthem brought to you by the Jackson Marching Ironmen as we get set to kick off this Saturday night special here in the Apple City. The Jackson Ironmen playing host to the Little Miami Panthers in this Saturday night non-conference showdown here in week one. Welcome to this presentation of Ohio High School Football and Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health. Carson Francis and John Bruce with you tonight. John, always a great atmosphere here at Jackson. Excited to see the Ironmen for the first time this season. Beautiful night for football.
Oh, it's a great night. Kind of warm. You still have the fact that we're in mid-August for week one. Keeps it a pretty toasty night, but it should be a beautiful night here in the Apple City for sure.
Let's talk about the Ironmen coming in to their first game of the season, coming off a 9-3 record last year, a season in which they won the FAC for the fourth year in a row. They made it to week 12 after beating New Philadelphia right here at Alumni Stadium in round one of the playoffs before they fell to Bishop Watterson, the eventual Division III state champions, the following week.
Yeah, this is an outstanding team that has a lot of experience coming back, a lot of winning experience coming back as well, and they've gone out. Little Miami comes in last year with not a very good record, to be honest. One of their losses was to the Division II state runner-up. So, I mean, they play a high level of opponent, but Jackson has gone out trying to challenge themselves. I know later in the spring, or not in the spring, but in the fall, they're also going to play Wheelersburg Irons and really ramping up that non-conference schedule, hoping to make it a little bit further in the postseason.
Jackson graduated 14 seniors off of last year's squad, one of them the dominant running back by the name of Nolan Johnson, who ran for almost 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns. He was the FAC Player of the Year, first-team All-Ohio. He is now playing at Army. But you look at the rest of Jackson's team, they got just about all of their impact players from last season back. Bodie Wolford under center, Ryan Simons, the playmaker on both sides of the ball. He's moved to running back this season. Jake Allen, the Charlotte commit on your offensive line. They've got a lot of playmakers returning this season.
Yeah, just a lot of guys with a lot of experience, and because of that, they're going to come in ready to play and wanting to build off of their success that they've had in the past. But the older they get, they want to just take this run here at Jackson as long as possible before a lot of them are going to go on and play in the college ranks as well.
And looking at Little Miami, you talked about not the best season last year, just 1-10. They did, I don't know if you want to call it earn a spot in the playoffs. I think they benefited from the 16-team per region format last year that has since been dwindled down to 12. Regardless, 1-10 last season for the Little Miami Panthers out of the Eastern Cincinnati Conference, their lone win came week 4 last season against Walnut Hills. But as you mentioned, they play in a tough conference that featured Anderson, the Division II state runner-up, as well as Winton Woods, a perennial playoff team year in, year out.
Yeah, it's a schedule that is going to get them prepared for anyone because week in, week out, as you mentioned, you're playing really tough teams throughout. And even the teams that, you maybe look at record-wise aren't as strong as like a Winton Woods or an Anderson. You're still seeing some really good athletes. And just even if you just throw out the Fantastic 50 website that ranks every team in the state, they've got Little Miami at 311. 311 might not sound that great, but that would be in the top half of the teams in the Southeast District. So they're still seeing, this is still going to be a team with talent, with some skill. Just we'll see if they are ready to face off with these Ironmen tonight.
The Panthers last season fell to the Winton Woods Warriors. They moved up to Division I last season in Region 4, fell to Winton Woods 35-0 in that first-round playoff matchup. But the one, I guess, positive thing you can look at for this Little Miami program, they've got a new head coach. Maybe not new to them, but Nate Mahan steps in for his second stint at the helm of the Little Miami Panthers. He was previously coaching there from 2016 to 2018. His tenure included back-to-back winning seasons with a playoff win in 2018. He has since served as the head coach at Hamilton and West Claremont before making his way back to Little Miami this past season. He's been around the block a time or two. He's taken some teams to the playoffs, and he's looking to recreate that success here at Little Miami that he had in his first stint.
Yeah, it's always good to have an experienced coach coming back in who knows the atmosphere of the school, and because of that, it's going to kind of rejuvenate the program in certain ways, as they have had success in the past, and they've done it with the current coach.
Little Miami, again, coming out of the Eastern Cincinnati Conference. This is their only non-league game of the season. The Eastern Cincinnati Conference has 10 teams in the league. They play a 9-league game schedule, an interesting format. They'll go on to face Turpin next week at home. But this is their one chance to maybe get some things going, maybe work on some things before you start your league competition as well.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time, like you said. When you play in those conferences that have so many teams in it, it makes it hard to prep in the preseason. You have to really take advantage of those first 2 weeks of scrimmages, and then also in this week 1 as well, as you get ready for just not that easy of a conference schedule as well for Little Miami.
This is the first time, supposedly the first time, that these two schools have met. The first year of a home and home, as the Panthers take the field in front of their visiting crowd on the far sideline.
All right, football fans, it's about time for
The second stint of the Nate Mahan era set to begin here in Jackson. And now maybe one of the greatest entrances in high school football in the state of Ohio, as the Jackson Ironmen get set to take the field for the first time this season. One of the most electric atmospheres in Southeast Ohio. The Ironmen, with a lot of high expectations this year, take the field for the first time in 2025.
Yeah, always good to have high expectations for your team, and they're that way for a reason. Coach Andy Hall does an outstanding job with this Jackson program. Should be a outstanding way to finish week 1 of the season here on a Saturday night. Only 3 games in the Southeast tonight. We appreciate anyone joining us here tonight to watch this one as well.
As for other games in our area, down in Pomeroy, Meggs playing host to Reedsville Eastern The Ironmen send out their kick return team to get things started. The last night of 3 games worth of coverage for our football live streaming this week. Saw Unioto take down Portsmouth down at the Coliseum on Thursday and watched Miami Trace get a big win over Waverly last night.
Yeah, if you just see the far side of the crowd, it may not seem like it's a big crowd, but man, on this side, outstanding crowd here for Jackson on the home side.
Little Miami, will kick off to start the night. Little Miami hailing from Morrow, Ohio. Kick things off for Little Miami. Saturday night action from the Apple City. It's a squib kick up the middle and over the head of Ryan Simons. Jackson had to hustle to recover that one. Gavin Seitz slides and downs the ball at the 5-yard line. And that's where the Ironmen will start the 2025 season.
Yeah, we talk about the value of being able to kick it deep, but at the same time, sometimes the squib kick can work in a big way, as it did right there for Little Miami.
He holds multiple offers to play collegiate baseball.
Yeah, just an outstanding athlete all around is Simons, and he just does a really good job at pretty much anything they task him to do in any sport.
2nd and 3 at the 36, under 10 to go. Here's a handoff to Simons, picks up the first down, trying to fight his way forward before a crowd of Panthers brings him down.
Yeah, and we're currently working on the scoreboard and the clock overall, so be patient with us in that way as we're working to make sure it runs according with the scoreboard here at Alumni Stadium.
The Ironmen have had a history of starting the year strong. They have not dropped a Week 1 game since 2010. That game, a 33-13 loss to Wellston as Andy Hall wants a timeout with 9:24 remaining.
Timeout, Jackson. That's the first of the half.
Andy Hall entering season number 17 at the helm of this Jackson football program. Never had a losing season as head coach of the Ironmen.
Yeah, you'll take that. I think you'll take that more times than not. It's just he's been an outstanding coach and, has gotten them in a really good position here with his program.
11 conference titles between the Southeast Ohio Athletic League and the Frontier Athletic Conference. Coach Andy Hall led the Ironmen to a regional final appearance back in 2015. That season, the Ironmen lost to Zanesville in a Division III regional final.
Those are two programs in completely different places at this point as well.
9:24 left in the first quarter, 1st and 10 at the 41. Simons in motion. Wolford hands it off to him. Simons trying to get outside before being taken down near the far sideline. Lincoln Engelhart making the tackle for Little Miami.
Yeah, you see with Simons how valuable he is because they're just trying to find different ways to get him the ball in any way that they can.
Little Miami just 1-10 last season. Their defense not great, but they do return their leading tackler from last season in linebacker Tanner Meadows. So Wolford drops back to pass. He's under pressure. Gets a nice block in the backfield before doing it himself. Wolford picks up a nice gain close to the first down marker. And they will move the chains. Bodie Wolford calls his own number, gets a first down, Ironman.
Yeah, it's good work there. Just finding a way to pick up the first. They have not gotten themselves to a 3rd down situation yet, and it's just because they've been so efficient on first and second down. So good work just moving the ball smoothly down the field so far as we're coming down to 8:37 left here in the quarter, as once again we're working with the game clock trying to get it connected as it typically is. Just has not happened yet tonight.
Ironman now in plus territory, 1st and 10 at the 48. The handoff to Gavin Seitz. As Seitz, bowling ball carry up to the 40.
And that's what you want on first down. You do a good job. You pick up 8 yards on it, making things a little bit easier for you on second and third down coming up.
Gavin Seitz, the 5'10 junior, showing off a good combination of both speed and power in that Jackson backfield. As we'll see an unbalanced set here for the Ironmen. Trips to the left side of Bodie Wolford. 2nd and 2 at the 40. And a flag down in the backfield.
And that's something we've seen a lot in the first 2 nights of the season. A lot of pre-snap penalties. And that's one of those things where you take away one of the scrimmages, moving the season forward a little bit makes it to where you have a little less time to do so, but it looks like it's just going to be well, we'll see. Legal substitution, so it's going to be a 5-yard penalty against the Ironmen.
I'll back them up 5 yards to the Little Miami 45. Jackson, after tonight, the rest of their non-league schedule features 2 more home games in weeks 2 and 3 against Gallia Academy and Wheelersburg in week 3 before traveling to Western Brown and Ironton in weeks 4 and 5. 2nd and 7, Wolford fakes the give. He'll take it himself and picks up a few yards before being taken down.
Yeah, try to run a little misdirection there as you've handed off to Simons multiple times, but ends up being stopped after just a minimal gain. Now we're going to see the first 3rd down here for Jackson as they have ran 4.5 minutes off the clock so far as we're down under 7:30 here in the first quarter.
See if Jackson can keep that time of possession going. 7:20 left in the first, 3rd and 5 at the 43. Seitz lined up to the right of Wolford. Wolford looking downfield. He's got a man open down the seam. Eli Davis making the catch. Big gain. Puts Jackson in the red zone.
Yeah, great work there, finding his man down the middle. He just gets loose, Davis does, and then slips through for the big gain. Nice pass, nice catch, nice play design as well by the Ironmen. Just under 7 minutes left now here in the first quarter as Jackson continues to drive down the field.
Eli Davis, 5'11 senior, making his first catch of the season. 1st and 10 at the 13. Simons motioning to the right. Wolford swings it out to Simons. Simons trying to dance his way past the defender and gets tripped up. Before getting any further, Jackson Barnett able to make the stop for Little Miami.
And that's a big play by Jackson Barnett. It may be delaying the inevitable, but if he doesn't at least get a shoestring there to bring down Simons, Simons is in for 6. Good play there by Barnett.
Gain of 4 on the play brings up 2nd and 6.
This Little Miami team was outgained in every game they played last season. Their defense backs against the wall. 2nd and 6 at the 9. Handoff. Seitz will walk his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Ironmen.
Seitz makes one man miss, and after doing so, he's able to go in virtually untouched for the 6. 6-minute drive, and really 95 yards in 6 minutes. Pretty impressive for the Ironmen. They had 1 3rd down. They converted that pretty easily. And then other than that, it was just really workmanlike all the way down the field for 6.
Thatcher Brown out to kick the extra point, and it sails through the uprights to complete the extra point. 7-0 Ironmen with 6 minutes remaining in the first. You're watching Ohio High School Football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to wish all the fall sports athletes a very safe and successful year. Good luck.
7-0 Ironmen with 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter as a 95-yard opening drive is complete with a 9-yard touchdown run from the junior Gavin Seitz.
Yeah, and as we said before the break, just outstanding work on first and second down. They only had to have the 1/3 down on the drive. But then a great footwork there by Gavin Seitz, the junior. Makes a man miss and is able to go into the end zone fairly easily. Great blocking up front by the big guys for the Ironmen.
Thatcher Brown set to boot it away for Jackson, Isaiah James, and Lucas Basta back to return for the Panthers. Brown sends it sky high near the far sideline. Basta fields it at the 15. Basta trying to work his way down the sideline, trucks a man before going out of bounds. Good field position to start the drive for Little Miami.
Yeah, good work from Little Miami. And after the defense was on the field for such a long time, it's valuable for them to try to get good field position after they were not able to take advantage of the great field position they had defensively against Jackson on the previous possession.
They will spot it at the 35-yard line as Camden Fox, the signal caller for the Panthers, leads his offense out onto the field. Threw for 906 yards and 4 touchdowns in a few games last season. Trips to the right side of Fox as he keeps it himself. Fox gets a couple yards, good gain on the first carry by Camden Fox.
Yeah, we talked about Seitz doing a really good job of waiting on his blocking. Fox did not wait. He hit that hole, the little sliver of a hole that was there, he hit it hard, picks up 6.
2nd and 4 at the 41, 5:30 remaining here in the first quarter.
I like how quick they got to the line. That way it makes it really difficult for Jackson to sub in that situation. Now resetting things here.
Andrew Trapp, the man in the backfield standing to the right of Fox. They hand it off. Trapp trying to get to the outside, picks up a first down before being tackled by Seitz.
Yeah, good work there by Trapp. Good decision on the handoff. Not sure if it was a read option or just straight up trap play, and good work by Trapp of driving up for the first down.
Nathan Wilson, the senior left tackle for the Little Miami Panthers, the only returning member of Little Miami who was on the All-Eastern Cincinnati Conference team last season. So they ran up right behind him to pick up that first down, 1st and 10 at their own 47. It's Fox on the keeper again. Fox ran into some traffic before a group of Ironmen stop him.
Yeah, but good work there to keep his legs moving and picking up more yardage. Ends up going from maybe a gain of 2 to up around a gain of 4 on the play by Fox. Good work there by the senior QB.
Be 2nd and 6 now. Little Miami in enemy territory for the first time tonight. They like to get up to the line of scrimmage and then slow things down as they await the play call. Trips again on the near side. 2nd and 6. Fox hands it off to Trapp. Trapp lowers his head, picks up about 5 yards. It'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, good work there by Trapp. Once again, just hitting that hole quickly. Does a good job following his linemen. And now I would say you're in 4-down territory where you're at this current spot. If you lose a couple of yards here, you may be looking at a punt, but I would say more than likely we're going to see Little Miami pushing forward here, trying to pick up this first.
3rd and 1 at the 44. Fox takes a snap. He keeps it himself and falls forward, picking up the first down. Camden Fox calling his own number once again and moves the chains for Little Miami.
Yeah, and if you're Little Miami, you want to keep things a little bit simple here early. After a rough season a year ago, you go back a little more simplistic. We're going to run the ball. We're going to rely on our big guys up front, our senior quarterback, and they've done a good job so far between Fox and Trapp picking up some good yardage, getting a couple first downs in a row.
This is a team that generated just 170 yards per game last season. On average, only 6 points a game in 11 games. Here's a handoff to Trapp. Gets taken down, but not before a gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
Yeah, and that's Trapp once again. He gets hit after a couple yards and is able to fall forward, making it a much more manageable second down here, 2nd and 6 coming up with about 2:30 left here in the first quarter.
Ball at the Jackson 37. Little Miami run after run. Here's a handoff, jet sweep on the outside. That is Lucas Basta picking up a couple yards before being hit out of bounds.
Pushed out of bounds by number 9, Dayton Callner.
Dayton Callner was able to run him out of bounds.
Yeah, and it's almost a spectacular play by Boston there as he kept his legs moving, and even though he was brought down quickly, kept his legs moving, is able to pick up a couple yards because of that. Running hard, moving forward, really valuable there for the Panthers.
The game changer on the last drive for Jackson was a big pickup on 3rd down. Can Little Miami do the same? 3rd and 4 at the 35. Handoff to Trapp. Trapp is stopped short of the line to gain. Taken down by Grant Kennedy, one of the men, to get him.
You're down to 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. 2 yards to go. Big time play here in the early going.
Gavin Seitz also in on that tackle. Fox goes to the sideline, gets the play call.
Bring Logan Kerner in. Another running back, although he goes out wide.
4th and 2 at the 33. Minute and a half remaining here in the first. 5 on the play clock. And it looks like Nate Mahan is going to burn his first time out of the night.
Hey, I'll tell you how much of a running back Logan Kerner is. His class list as a running back. So we got juniors, seniors, and then a running back. That's how you know it's in his blood.
I was just getting ready to say, being a running back in his DNA. 4th and 2 early on for Little Miami against a team like Jackson. You've moved the ball fairly well on this drive, but these 2 yards, even though it's only the first quarter, probably your biggest play of the game so far.
Yeah, I would like to see, if I'm Little Miami, I would like to see some sort of either a read option, or you just maybe follow Trapp and you just go with Fox up front. But Fox and Trapp, when they just went forward with them instead of where they went with the sweep kind of got them a little bit behind where they had been picking up 4, 5, 6 yards a carry. So I think I would trust your senior backfield here. And for Jackson, you just want to trust those big guys up front who have done such a good job to be able to hold up for 2 yards here.
The Jackson coaching staff down on the sideline trying to get their team fired up. Huge 4th down early on here in this one. 1:22 remaining in the first quarter. Basta in motion. They hand it off to Basta, trying to get around the outside, and it looks like he got just enough to pick up the first down.
Just enough is right, because he got about 3-4 inches past the line of gain and then got lit up on the other side, but ultimately was able to pick up the first. Needed 2, got about 2 feet 6 inches.
First 4th down conversion of the season for Little Miami. Gives them a new set of downs at the Jackson 30, approaching a minute remaining here in the first. Fox looks over to the sideline, awaits the signal from Coach Mahan. Mahan, a 2003 graduate of Hamilton High School. He is in the Hamilton Big Blue Hall of Fame. 45 seconds remaining. Fox keeps it up the middle, gains about 4, flag down after the play.
Yeah, and the way they are running with the 3-4 yards a carry, starting behind, although the signal was a face mask.
Call a face mask on number 74, Cohen Oyer. That'll add some extra yardage for Little Miami. to that play. Put them just on the doorstep of the red zone. They'll spot it at the 22.
Yeah, just the 5-yard variety.
Be 39.5 seconds remaining. Jackson's scoreboard, one of the more unique ones in the area. They do the basketball style tenths of a second when it gets under a minute, as did Portsmouth on Thursday.
Yeah, we're going to have a kind of unique 1st and 1 coming up. 1st and 1.5, I guess.
A 1st and 1 at the 22. 3 receivers here on the near sideline. 20 seconds remaining. Fox drops back, looking downfield. It's incomplete. Pass intended for Carter Stewart. Just overthrew him a little bit there. It'll be 2nd and 1. 15.5 remaining here in the first. It's the first attempted pass of the game for Camden Fox.
Yeah, not a bad idea there. Especially with it being first and such short yardage.
Now here's Trapp on the carry. Trapp just gets past the first down marker with 9.7 left in the first. And that'll move the chains again for Little Miami.
I'd say we're probably going to see them let it run. Yeah, that's going to be it for the first.
Both teams will head to the sideline. Little Miami has worked its way into the red zone, looking to tie up Jackson with a 7-0 lead here after 1 quarter from Alumni Stadium. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. 1 chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
One quarter down here at Alumni Stadium as the Ironmen hold a 7-0 lead over Little Miami, but the Panthers are in the red zone threatening.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. They've only attempted the 1 pass, which came on that 1st and 1. So I like the idea for Little Miami to at least show that you have a willingness to pass, where maybe that'll keep Jackson from loading up in the box after this first possession, although it was not particularly close.
Got to at least keep them honest, especially against a team like Jackson, always a stout defense year in, year out. 1st and 10 at the Ironman 19. Fox keeps it himself up the middle, gains a few yards before being taken down by multiple Ironmen.
Yeah, and just once again, you're doing a good job of picking up 4 on 1st down. It's been pretty consistent so far that they've been at 2nd and 6 throughout this. And just, good job by Little Miami moving forward.
Sadie McLeod, one of the men to bring Trapp down after a gain of 4.
Gain of 4 brings up 2nd and 6.
2nd down and 6 at the 15. I have Basta lining up to take the snap. He'll keep it himself. Trapp, the lead blocker, picks up a few more out of the Wildcat.
Number 8, Evan Farley, the ball carrier. Tackled from behind.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of just grinding away.
Tate Rosser, correction, number 8, Lucas Costa, the ball carrier.
Another gain of 4 for the Panthers sets up a 3rd and 2 from the Jackson 11.
Although this could be interesting if they don't pick up anything here, with it being a good-sized school. I would guess the kicking game has a possibility, although they squib kicked on the opener. So
their kicker for the past 3 seasons, Gunnar Hoffman, not on the team this year, electing to focus on soccer. As we have a timeout here called by Nate Mahan and the Panthers. They'll want to talk things over before this 3rd and 2, and we will take it with them. 7-0 Jackson. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern.
Glow Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glow Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glow Fiber is here. Welcome to Glow Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLOW or visit glowfiber.com to switch today.
10:30 remaining here in the first half as Little Miami faces a big 3rd and 2 from the Jackson 11 following this timeout.
Yeah, this is a big play call for Little Miami. Good timeout there because you're driving. You've taken over 6.5 minutes or 7.5 minutes off the clock. You want to get some points here if you're the Panthers.
Basta in the shotgun to take the snap. He'll keep it himself, trying to get to the outside, gets a couple blocked, stiff arms a man, and dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Little Miami.
Yeah, an outstanding play there by Basta, breaking the tackle and then getting in for 6. Great work there by the senior.
Basta, the 11-yard carry out of the Wildcat. Puts Little Miami an extra point away from tying this. Also great blocking by Andrew Trapp to set up the touchdown. Junior Cade Weinich out for the extra point to tie this one with 10:23 remaining until halftime. Kick is away, and it splits the uprights, and good to tie this one up at 7 here at Alumni Stadium. We'll step aside briefly. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Back here at Alumni Stadium in Jackson, the Little Miami Panthers take up a lengthy drive and utilize their run game to tie up the Jackson Ironmen. An 11-yard carry from Lucas Basta for the score.
And this is kind of what, in a way, we expected coming down for this. This is Little Miami's coming in. They play just such sound teams week in, week out that they are not going to be intimidated by anybody. Now, ultimately, I do think Jackson is going to be able to, get some ground, separate themselves a little bit throughout this game. But when you play these really, really good teams week in, week out, you're not intimidated.
Weinich set to boot it away for the Panthers, a squib kick, and Jackson has trouble fielding it again. Simons scoops it up at the 20, taken down after a short return. As Tyler Fowlett making the play for Little Miami. Seen twice now, Jackson's return team having trouble with that squib kick.
Yeah, the squib kick can be really effective if you get that roll. If you get the correct roll, like Little Miami has done twice now. But if that bounces right to the up back, it's going to be great field position for Jackson. But fortunately for Little Miami and unfortunately for Jackson, it has rolled the Panthers' way so far.
So both Jackson and Little Miami went on lengthy drives on their first offensive possession. Let's see how the Ironmen respond. It's 1st and 10 at the 28. Sweep out to Simons. Gain of about 7 yards before being ran out of bounds.
And that's what you need. First down, you just keep picking up big-time gains. For Little Miami, they were picking up 4 or 5 yards a carry to start their, first down sessions. And then Jackson has been picking up even more throughout, so it's put them in a little better situation than Little Miami was. But ultimately, Little Miami was able to grind their way for the touchdown.
Lincoln Englehart and Carter Haney were the two Panthers to run Simons out of bounds 2nd and 3 at the 35. Jackson going 5 wide. They send a man in motion, Dayton Kalner, before Andy Hall wants a timeout to talk things over. And we will take it with him. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie & Son Trucking. Willie & Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week, presented by Willie & Son Trucking, each week at sosaohio.com.
The Ironmen face a 2nd down and 3 at their own 35, 10-10 to go until halftime. Both teams each with 1 timeout remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, and I'm going to give myself a shout out. I'm running the clock on the computer, and I was only off by a couple seconds. So, but yeah, I think that's a smart timeout there by Coach Hall. You're in 2nd and 3. You're in a good situation. You don't want to get the pre-snap penalty or maybe make a big mistake there when you have the timeouts.
Ironmen line up the same way they did before the timeout. Simons in motion. They fake the give. Screen pass. It's Charlie Woodard on the reception. Woodard trying to work his way through the middle of the field. Breaks a tackle before multiple Panthers bring him down.
Yeah, good effort there by Woodard. I like the play design. And it ultimately ends up in a 1st down because of the effort from Woodard on the play. I like the misdirection there with, bringing Simons in motion and then running the tunnel screen on the same side to get one of your better athletes the ball.
Yeah, Charlie Woodard, another senior on this Ironman team, another multi-sport athlete as well. A lot of experience in both football and basketball for the Ironmen. One of the leaders on this team. I formation, 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's a handoff. Simons up the middle. Simons in the clear. No one near him. Touchdown Ironman. 62 yards. Ryan Simons, the converted running back.
Yeah, as soon as that hole's there, he hits it hard and fast. And once he gets to the 2nd level, not a lot of guys are catching Simons. No one even close to him on that play. Great play design and execution by the Ironmen for 6.
62 yards right down Broadway for Ryan Simons. Gives the Ironmen the lead right back. PAT from Thatcher Brown is good. And the Ironmen regain a 14-7 lead, 9:23 left in the first half. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget, as well as 60 months, 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
14-7 in favor of the Jackson Ironmen. A 62-yard touchdown run from Ryan Simons to give Jackson the lead right back. He got in the open field, and he just made it look easy.
Yeah, really good speed there for, as you said, a converted running back from a wide receiver a year ago, because you had the All-Ohioan and Nolan Johnson. Simons doing a really good job stepping in on that first play there.
And you got to think, for a senior, Ryan Simons still some big shoes to fill in that running back position, following in the footsteps of Cade Wolford and Nolan Johnson. As Basta fields the ensuing kickoff inside the 5, trying to get to his own sideline. There is a flag down as Basta taken down at the 15 by Austin Sorrell.
Good job there by Sorrell. Because Basta, we saw him on that last touchdown run for Little Miami. He's got some wiggle to him, but Sorrell does a great job pulling him down, not letting him break loose.
Call a block in the back on Little Miami, so that'll back them up even further.
And when you are a run-heavy team, That's one of the last things you want. You do not want to, now, positive for them, it's still going to be 1st and 10, but you've got a lot of yardage to go. They took up over 7.5 minutes on their last touchdown drive, and they started with about 25 less yards to go.
That'll back up the Panthers to their own 9-yard line.
Panthers will have a 1st and 10 from their own 9-yard line.
This is a team that, as I mentioned earlier, didn't do a lot of scoring last season, averaging only 6.5 points per game. They were shut out 4 times last season, including that Week 11 playoff loss to Winton Woods.
Which, you talk about how tough of a schedule it was. You still want to see yourself putting up points, because even though you're playing really good competition, that's something that clearly has needed to be addressed for Little Miami. They got off to a good start.
Here's Isaiah James carrying the jet sweep. Gets back to the original spot after the kickoff return, gain of 6.
Yeah, good work there. Doing better than they did previously on their first downs, where it was pretty much 4 yards. They pick up 6 on that one. I'll tell you what, this is one of the more picturesque stadiums here in the Southeast.
Absolutely.
Just great views everywhere as we're up on the hill here. Just an outstanding view of the Apple City.
Sun setting right behind us. You see all the nice hills of Southeast Ohio from our view. 2nd down and 4. Fox on the keeper, trying to get outside. Dives forward near the 1st down line. We'll see if they give it to him.
Good work by Fox. He's doing a really good job of making men miss. Hasn't really shown the ability to throw yet, but has done a great job running the ball so far, has the senior Fox.
That's enough for a Little Miami 1st down, and it'll make it 1st and 10 at the 19 after the pickup from the senior signal caller. This Little Miami team also lost their leading rusher from last season in Walker Broussard. Here's Fox on the keeper again up the middle. Fox had some room before he got tagged by Simons.
But once again, a nice job at the line of scrimmage by that offensive line for Little Miami. It's making it to where Fox is able to pick up pretty good chunk yards on that 1st down to make this a 2nd and manageable.
Call it 2nd and 3 for the Panthers. It's 3 men on the near side. Trap in the backfield to the left of Fox. 20 on the play clock as Fox takes the signal.
Each team with 1 timeout left.
Coming up on 7 minutes to go till halftime. 6 on the play clock. Fox drops back, looking downfield. Pass is complete, and a 1st down after the catch from Carter Stewart.
Yeah, slightly behind Stewart, where maybe if you hit him in stride, you're going to pick up even more. But good work there by Stewart to hang on to it and withstand a hit to be able to pick up that 1st.
Carter Stewart, the 6'4" junior, first pass completion of the night for Little Miami.
Yeah, and right after I'd said he hadn't shown the ability to connect, does it immediately for the big 1st down.
Sometimes it's like a shooter in basketball. Sometimes you just got to see one go in. We'll see if Little Miami mixes it up here, but they'll stick with the run. It's trap, bowling ball carry. Gets about halfway to the 1st down marker.
They just do such a good job of falling forward. It's kind of a lost art that you won't see a whole lot of. You see with like Cam Scattaboo, where I saw someone joke yesterday, if he's getting hit in the backfield, he's picking up 3. If he's got a chance to pick up 6, he's picking up 3. But you are still falling forward. You're going to be able to get positive yardage out of it one way or another.
Anything to keep moving the ball forward. 2nd and 5. Fox fakes the give to Basta, and Fox tackled forward, stretching the ball forward for a 1st down. Little Miami continuing to move the chains via the run game.
Yeah, Fox just does a great job making the good read. It looked like they wanted to get Basta in motion, but it was going to be swarmed. Pulls it and is able to get to the sticks and extend the ball across to make sure he gets that helpful spot as they get moved past midfield.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Andy Hall wants to make to his defense throughout the game to counter this run from the Little Miami offense.
Right now, Little Miami's just getting a little more push up front, so maybe it's the challenging the men up front.
Now 1st and 10 at the 47. They hand it off. Trapp falls forward again for a gain of about 3 or 4.
Yeah, and it's just not much there, but able to pick up 3, and by doing so, puts them in not a bad spot where it looked like this may have been a 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. Instead, it's going to be 2nd and 7.
Now at the 44-yard line. 4:42 remaining until halftime. Jackson has faced its fair share of Southwest District opponents over the years. They've often had a home-and-home with Western Brown, most recently playing Hamilton Ross last season. Fox on the keeper again, picks up a couple. Crowded middle of the field there.
Yeah, good job by Jackson, really making that kind of a mess in the middle and making it to where it's only about a 2-yard gain for Fox and making this a 3rd and 5, at least making Little Miami consider having to pass here as we're getting late in this drive.
If you notice, we do see, I believe, don't have the best angle from up here, but Jackson frequently subbing their defensive linemen in and out. Appears we have some guys that maybe don't always play both ways sometimes in there, most notably number 76, Jake Allen. 3rd and 5, Fox drops back to pass. It's incomplete through the hands of Isaiah James, and that'll bring up 4th down. And Nate Mahan looked like he was going to send out the punt team, and then he hesitates.
Yeah, we may see that last time out with how quickly, yeah, it looks like they are going to punt. Although you could look for a fake in this part of the field. But with how quickly Jackson struck for their last score, maybe it makes you think different about going for it here, because then it's a little shorter field for Jackson. Even though they only have the 1 timeout, Jackson has shown an ability to strike quickly.
6 seconds on the play clock. Carter Stewart, the punter for the Panthers. Simon's back to return. And a fake direct snap. But I don't think they got the play off in time.
I'll tell you who's happy about that, Coach Mahan, because that got sniffed out immediately. And there was absolutely nothing there.
A blessing in disguise for Little Miami. That backs him up 5 yards.
Yeah, that makes that decision a little bit easier. And for someone like me to say, oh, this is a good place for a fake. You know, Andy Hall, with how great of a coach he is for Jackson, he sniffed it out even quicker than I would.
When you're in your 17th year as a head coach and you've never had a losing season,
right,
I think you know what you're doing. You know what you're seeing down there on the field. Now 4th and 10 from the 47 as Stewart sends it away directly out of bounds. And with 3:27 remaining, Jackson sends their offense back out onto the field, looking to maybe get one more score before half.
Yeah, you got Bodie Wolford, you've got some dynamic receivers on the outside, but really with how quickly they struck with Simons, it wouldn't surprise me if maybe they try to run for a first, and then maybe you look at the pass. But Coach Hall has a lot of options here with this dynamic offense.
Bodie Wolford and the Ironmen back out on the field. They'll set up shop at the 25. An 11-yard, or a 9-yard carry rather, from Gavin Seitz, and a big 62-yard run from Ryan Simons, the 2 touchdowns scored tonight by Jackson. 75 yards ahead of them, along with 3 minutes, 27 seconds till half. Wolford looking downfield. He is under pressure. Throws for Simons on the sideline, and he got both feet in for the catch.
That's just an outstanding play. And that's two guys that have played together for a long time, knowing once he gets moving, where to go, where Bodie Wolford can throw to, and then just good work there, making the catch, getting the feet down, did Simons to pick up 7 on what could have ultimately just been a throwaway with most teams.
Simons, whether in the run game or the pass game, always going the extra mile to make plays for this Ironman team. 2nd and 3 at the 32. I formation lineup for Jackson. They hand it off. It's Simons. Simons trying to bounce outside, but Little Miami was there blowing the play up just past the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, not much there at all for Simons. He battled to try to get a little bit. It looks like maybe they're going to give him a yard. We have a 3rd and 2. Still have a ton of options here, with the short yardage.
Tanner Meadows, the leading tackler from last season for Little Miami, the first one on that play. Gain of 1, it'll make it 3rd and 2. They hand it off up the middle. It's Seitz, and Seitz doesn't go down easy, picks up the first down.
Great work there by Seitz to bust through an initial tackle near the line of scrimmage and able to pick up a big first down.
It'll put them at their own 48. Jackson Barnett, the one making the stop for Little Miami.
Yeah, you don't have to get into a big hurry here. You still have the one timeout. You still have a good quarterback with a nice arm in Bodie Wolford, although they are going 5 wide here.
Wolford in the backfield all by himself. 1st and 10 from the 48. Wolford under pressure, throwing downfield for Woodard, overthrows him, incomplete.
Yeah, not a bad idea, but pretty obvious they're coming with, with something pass-wise. Maybe have someone just give an option for a shorter route, but ultimately with some pressure coming onto him, Wolford does a good job throwing the ball away there.
And obviously Wolford's had a good night throwing the ball, but with how heavily Jackson has been favoring the run game, I think Andy Hall might have just wanted to try something to keep Little Miami honest defensively. 2:03 left till half. Wolford will throw once again. He's got Simons on the sideline, through his hands, incomplete. Similar play to the catch Simons had earlier in the drive, but ultimately Simons unable to haul that one in.
Yeah, you got Wolford rolling to his right. Simons starts to come back a little bit like they did. They connected on it 2 different times so far. One was for a first down. The next one was a 7-yard gain, but ultimately just unable to connect that time.
Now Jackson faced with a 3rd and 10. Once again at their own 48, 1:58 left. Wolford bobbles the snap, and he's going to keep it himself. Wolford trying to get around some defenders, but taken down after a gain of about 4. Lincoln Engelhart on the stop, and that brings up 4th down for the Ironmen.
Yeah, good job by Wolford of just getting something positive out of that. They're actually going to call it a gain of 5, so good work there by Wolford. Not ideal, obviously, for the Ironmen, but it looks like we're going to run down to a timeout here.
Andy Hall has his team on the Jackson sideline, running down the play clock, trying to take as much time off before burning that final timeout. And he'll use it with 1:09 remaining here until halftime. 4th and 5 in plus territory.
Well,
do you think Andy Hall has any thoughts of going for it here?
I mean, kind of whatever he wants to do here. I trust him on it. But you can maybe look at it a couple ways. Little Miami hasn't shown the big play ability. They've grinded out one for a touchdown. The next time they got a lot of yardage, but it's almost all been through the ground. So even if you go for it and fail,
you got to like your chances.
You like your chances of at least getting a hold. But you're up 7 going into the half now. With a punt, Little Miami probably is not going to be able to go the length of the field. You got a chance to go in and regroup with the half with a lead where really only bad things can happen if you go for it there. Now you punt it away, more than likely you're feeling good going into the half, even though there's a lot of things they are going to want to work on.
Jackson lined up like they're going to punt. Thatcher Brown back to boot it away. And he will boot it away. It's a high kick. Bounces inside the 20. It gets a good roll and almost down at the 1 yard line. It rolls through his hands and into the end zone. Hunter Long, the gunner, almost downed it at the 1.
That was a pretty punt from Thatcher Brown. Does a good job. Got the nice end over end. Got some nice spin. It sounded good off his foot. Just ultimately, he will not get that punt inside the 20 just because of the unfortunate bounce there for the Ironmen.
Good hustle from Long trying to get there. Ultimately unable to make the play, but nonetheless, 58.9 remaining here in the first half. 14-7, Jackson in front of Little Miami as the Panthers offense retakes the field.
It looks like Little Miami just going to run out the clock. Jackson with no timeouts.
Panthers will receive the second half kickoff, so Nate Mahan looks to be perfectly content with just kneeling out the clock and going into halftime.
Yeah, and I think it's the right move. You haven't really shown the ability to pass downfield. You connected on one. But if you're Little Miami, you come in, big underdog on the road. You get the ball to start the second half. You have to feel pretty good about where you're at. And if you're Jackson, you didn't play great, and you're up by 7. So I think both teams are going to be feeling pretty good. Interested to see what these coaching adjustments are going to be at the half.
That 62-yard touchdown run from Ryan Simons is the difference maker here in the first half. And that is all she wrote for one half of football from the Apple City. Jackson in front of Little Miami, 14-7. Both teams will head to the locker room, talk things over. And we will step aside halftime from Jackson with the Ironmen in front by 7. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to wish all the fall sports athletes a very safe and successful year. Good luck.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news, Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Kimberly. Tons of practice. One chop away from a black belt. 7 of the best sidekicks. And 5 years since her cancer diagnosis at Ohio Health.
At North Fork Animal Clinic, we're more than your pet's health care. We're your neighbors. We combine top-quality veterinary care with the availability you can count on, keeping tails wagging and pets thriving. And as proud supporters of youth sports in Southern Ohio, we're committed to helping our whole community grow strong. North Fork Animal Clinic, caring for pets, supporting our community.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
Since 1853, Tomlinson Insurance has been protecting families, farms, and businesses in our community. As an independent agency, we offer personalized coverage for your auto, home, farm, and business, plus health and life insurance too. And we proudly partner with Erie Insurance to give you peace of mind with reliable coverage at competitive rates. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call us today at 740-773-4181 or visit us at tomlinsonins.com.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
At Chillicothe Comfort Heating and Air, your comfort is our priority year-round.
Whether it's blazing hot or freezing cold, we've got your back with fast, reliable service you can trust.
Locally owned, honest, and done right the first time.
We have financing options available for every budget as well as 60 months 0% interest.
Call us today and feel the difference that comfort makes.
This broadcast is brought to you in part by Willie and Son Trucking. Willie and Son Trucking has been a proud supporter of local student athletes, coaches, and athletic programs throughout its history. Be sure to look out for the Shack Athlete of the Week presented by Willie and Son Trucking each week at sosaohio.com.
Glo Fiber is now in Ohio. And with gig speed fiber internet, we're keeping things real. As in real reliable speeds. Real people who really want to talk to you. Not to mention, real simple pricing. Switch to Glo Fiber today to get real fast, real reliable fiber internet and your first month free. Glo Fiber is here. Welcome to Glo Ohio. Call 1-833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiber.com to switch today.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
Mark. 6 months of training. 8 miles to go. A 3-way tie for almost last place. And 3 years since he and his team at Ohio Health left cancer in the dust.
Experience the hometown Chevrolet difference. Check out our huge selection of Silverado trucks, Equinox SUVs, and the latest Chevy models. Priced to move and ready to hit the road today. Plus, with the Hometown Advantage, you get free oil changes for life and a 10-year, 150,000-mile limited powertrain warranty at no extra cost. That's real value and real peace of mind. Your Hometown Chevrolet is proud to be your trusted local dealer of new and pre-owned inventory, delivering unbeatable deals and top-notch service. Visit us today at 501 West Emmett Avenue in Waverly or start shopping online at yourhometownschevy.com.
Richard. Countless nights in the garage. 8 shiny new Pistons. 1 very happy 16-year-old granddaughter. And 2 years since starting cancer treatment at Ohio Health.
Halftime wrapping up here from Alumni Stadium at Jackson High School. We hope you enjoy getting to watch the Jackson Marching Ironmen do some halftime entertainment here at Alumni Stadium. Ironmen in front 14-7 on the Little Miami Panthers through one half of football. Carson Francis and John Bruce joining you tonight as we close out our coverage of week 1 of the high school football season. John, what did you think of that first half there? We didn't really know what to expect out of Little Miami, but they came out and they're giving Jackson all they can handle.
Yeah, it was a clean first half between the two teams, limited penalties. I know 1 block in the back, 1 face mask, but overall a pretty clean half of football, which you don't always expect in week 1 with the less scrimmages and whatnot, but I thought Little Miami did a good job of moving the ball. All on the ground besides the 1 pass. Ultimately, Jackson adjusted in that second drive by Little Miami really well with, as you mentioned, they were switching some new linemen in. It looked like maybe they were just trying to get some fresh bodies in there, and it held up a little bit, forced Little Miami into a punt, which was nearly great field position for Jackson because they went for it originally, but they didn't get the play off. And on the play, Jackson had blown it up, but ultimately ends up going it went as a 5-yard penalty instead of a 5-yard loss. After the penalty, they punted away, and Jackson was not able to score from there. But really a pretty good half of football.
Our scoring looks like this. It was a 9-yard run courtesy of Gavin Seitz to break the scoring open for the Ironmen. Little Miami followed that up with an 11-yard touchdown run by Lucas Basta out of the Wildcat formation. Jackson then took the lead via a 62-yard touchdown run from Ryan Simons, all running so far. Jackson has done a better job mixing it up offensively. Little Miami, as you said, completed only 1 pass that entire first half. A little bit different identities on opposite ends of the spectrum offensively.
Yeah, Jackson a little more varied in their offensive attack, where Little Miami a little more one-dimensional. But ultimately, that one dimension kept them in the game throughout that first half and has given them a chance to compete here in the second half. They'll get the ball to start. We have we're still working on the scoreboard or working on the clock. But, you always have the 20 minutes plus 3 at the half. So ultimately, we're going to see, what adjustments both coaches make. Little Miami, a new coach, but an experienced coach at Little Miami. Andy Hall's done an outstanding job at Jackson. So I think this will be a fun matchup in the second half to see how each coach adjusts coming into this second half. And I think we'll see, I'll say Thatcher Brown will have a pretty decent kickoff to start. And then after the coverage, I'm excited to see both teams get after it here for this last 24 minutes.
A look into the career of Nate Mahan, who's starting year 1 of stint number 2 at Little Miami, entering his 12th season overall as a head coach, 61 wins, 50 losses overall. Started out at Cincinnati Northwest, the Knights, out of the Southwest Ohio Conference. His first season as a head coach, 9-3 with a playoff win. The Knights lost to Loveland, who went on to win the Division II state championship that year. From there, he coached 2 more seasons before going to Little Miami, his first go-round. As I mentioned, he's capped off with back-to-back winning seasons, including a playoff win in 2018, where his Panthers finished 9-3, knocking off Trenton Edgewood in round 1 of the playoffs. From there, he went to his alma mater, Hamilton, for 3 seasons, where he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And from the Big Blue, he went to West Claremont, where he coached for 2 seasons. Coached in Indiana as an assistant last season before returning to Little Miami back in the wintertime for his second stint with the Panthers.
Oh, well-traveled man. And when you're well-traveled and you coach in a lot of different programs, you get a lot of different ideas. And because of that, it kind of can make you a more well-rounded coach. So we'll see if he can bring that in to try to help bring the Panthers back to where they were when he had them the first time, making that second round of the playoffs. They have substantially grown throughout the time. I know when I had a team compete against them a decade ago, they were still growing at the time, and they seemingly have continued that to end up being a Division I team.
Yeah, and you mentioned, you look at them maybe 10 or 15 years ago, you're seeing this team competing in Division III, Division IV, and now you look at them, they just moved up to Division I last year. Really shows how much that school district and the high school itself has grown population-wise over the years.
Yeah, and you've got Jackson, who is one of the bigger schools in the Southeast District, is a Division III school. So outside of Logan and possibly Miami Trace, they're one of the biggest schools in our coverage areas, and they have done, and Marietta, although they're technically outside of it, but and Coach Hall's done an outstanding job. And typically the athletics are outstanding here at Jackson, and you can tell the community buys in. As we mentioned, you can't see it on the far side just because the Little Miami crowd a little sparse over on the big side, or on the visitor side. But on this side, this is a very big crowd for Jackson to see their home opener, supporting their Ironmen. And one of the cool things, they've got all the senior banners on the underneath of the bleachers as we're making our way up. Every sport is just filled with seniors. You just get so much participation here at Jackson in the variety of sports, and that's why ultimately you see more success for the Ironmen throughout the regular season, because when you have big numbers, typically you're going to have a better chance of landing some of those big athletes.
Yeah, and Jackson's always been a tradition-rich program, but the atmosphere here for a home game, second to none compared to some other schools in our district, in our coverage area. I remember I played my last football game ever here. We lost 49-0, but the atmosphere here before kickoff, hearing Ozzy Osbourne, Iron Man, play as we were taking the field, as Jackson was taking the field, the band in the end zone, it's really one of a kind, and atmosphere truly makes this one of the best places to play in the Southeast District.
Yeah, and due to that, it gives them a chance to, you can keep kids involved. I mean, sometimes, at a bigger school, some kids won't want to wait their turn, where there's kids here at Jackson that'll wait their turn and then just have the big senior year. And because of that, that's how you have a healthy program like the Ironmen. Like 16 straight years of winning football under Coach Hall, that's how you do it. You keep building off of that.
And I mentioned again, Andy Hall's never had a losing season in 17 years at Jackson, and I think, look at my notes here, I think only one of those 17 years they finished 5-5.
Yeah, he's done an outstanding job and will continue to do so as long as he is here with the Ironmen. But getting ready to kick off here in the second half, and I tweeted about it earlier. This is this is a little more heavy metal than I'm used to, but it's a little harder rock, which feels to me more football-wise. This has been the best pregame music selection of any of the places that I've been in the Southeast for quite some time, when it's not just the band. The band was outstanding there at the half as well, so hopefully you enjoyed getting to see a couple of their songs on the performance as well.
Thatcher Brown set to tee things off for the Ironmen in the second half. Lucas Basta and Isaiah James, the two men back to return for the Little Miami Panthers. This is Little Miami's first trip into the Southeast since 2008, a 21-20 win over Hillsborough. As Basta fields the kickoff at the 20, runs over his own man before being taken down near the 32-yard line. Second half underway from Jackson.
Yeah, Basta's been pretty dynamic when he's gotten the ball, does a nice job getting that on the run. Good coverage, but because he catches it on the run, ultimately he's able to get that out past the 30 and to give the Panthers positive field position to start here. Only their third drive of the game as well. So I don't know if you count the end of half. So if you count the end of half, fourth, but really had the ball for two extended drives. The first one ended in 7, second one ended in a punt. Both times got past midfield. Typically they were starting off picking up 5 or 6 yards or 4 or 5 yards on first down as well. So let's see if Jackson has made any adjustments to slow that down.
Basta comes out onto the field to take snaps for the Panthers as we start the second half. First and 10 at the 32. Basta keeps it himself, gets to the outside, breaks a tackle, and picks up a first down before being chased down by Charlie Woodard.
Yeah, as we talked about, Basta, just a really dynamic player. The senior, listed as a running back, 5'11", 200 pounds, really tough to bring down. He's also pretty shifty, doing an outstanding job in the opener of his senior year.
Gain of 15 on the carry from Basta. Puts the Panthers at their own 47. Basta responsible for the only touchdown from Little Miami, an 11-yard rush back in the second quarter. First and 10, Basta, high snap, hands it off to Andrew Trapp, who's herded and taken down near midfield.
And Trapp picks up. They're going to give him 3, which has been pretty typical, but a good job there by the Ironmen of not letting him fall forward. They bottled him up where he'd been falling forward to pick up another yard or two after the initial contact throughout the first half. So good work there by Jackson to at least slow down Trapp a little.
We saw Little Miami in the first half use those chunk plays to move the ball forward. Right now they're already at midfield. Interesting setup here for Little Miami. Basta taking the snaps. They've got Fox lined up in the slot, and he goes in motion. They hand it off to Fox. Fox lines up to throw. Downfield, he's got James. James bobbled and couldn't haul it in. Would have been a huge pickup for the Panthers offense.
Yeah, not a bad throw. A little underthrown.
I love the play design.
Yeah, and you kind of sniffed it out as well as, pointing out where he's at, gets him in motion, and good defense downfield by Jackson. I believe
Christian Gillum on the coverage.
Yeah, and he did a good job of defending. He's still face guarded. Maybe if he gets his head turned a little bit better, but he does it without contacting the receiver to not give up the big chunk yardage on the what would have been pass interference downfield. Good defense there by Gillum.
3rd and 7 at midfield. Fox in the shotgun. And a flag thrown. Little Miami did not get the playoff in time. Delay of game.
Yeah, and you can't have that if you're Little Miami. That's their second delay of game so far. They've done a good job of they're rushing to the line typically now, with that being kind of a dead clock situation. They weren't as fast. But in those situations, that's when you really got to be able to get the play off. And now you're kind of stuck in a obvious passing down where maybe you could run Fox and pick up 4 or 5, and then you give yourselves a chance to possibly go for it on 4th. But now you're going to have to get a big chunk here for the Panthers.
3rd and 12 at the 45. Fox going to keep it himself, gets to midfield, but not nearly enough for the first.
Number 30, Camden Fox, the ball carrier.
Eli Davis, one of the men to make the stop, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, it looked like a similar play that was coming on the last, because it looks like they're just going to go for it here.
4th and 7 at midfield. Fox in the shotgun. 2 men on each side, tight end lined up on the right. It's Austin Beaver lined up as a tight end, and they're going to let the play clock run down, take the delay of game, and Nate Mahan sends out the punt team.
The only thing there's a couple things I don't like about that, actually. But really, you didn't go hard count at all, and it's 4th and 7, so
you're basically just going back to where you were before the previous play.
So I think I would have liked to have seen a pass there on 3rd down, but ultimately, trust the coach. Now, if you are Little Miami, you're looking to pin them deep.
Carter Stewart back to punt. Simons, the return man. Beautiful punt from Carter Stewart, fielded by Simons inside the 20. Simons makes a man miss before going down after a gain of just a few yards. Good coverage from the Little Miami punt team.
And as you said, it was a beautiful punt. Good hang time. Really good work there by Stewart, only a junior, to get the good hang time. Good coverage downfield. And just staying with the play for Little Miami.
Now the Jackson offense back out on the field, and you've got to wonder with how much Little Miami has struggled to capitalize when they've had opportunities. A score here could do a lot of damage if you're Jackson.
Yeah, and especially with them being a pretty one-dimensional team, you can really put them behind the 8 ball here.
There's a handoff to Simons. Simons doesn't get very far. Tanner Meadows, one of the men on the stop for Little Miami.
I think they're going to give him 2 on the play for Simons. But like I was saying, you try to make Little Miami do what they're not super comfortable with, which is throwing the ball. And a scoring drive here, especially a long scoring drive, could really give Jackson a big advantage.
Landon McCray was also credited with that tackle. One of the key returners on this Little Miami defense stopped Simons for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8. They hand it off, and it's Seitz up the middle for a nice gain and a 1st down.
Yeah, Seitz has ran really hard. He's done a really good job of hitting the holes when they're there and doing it quickly and really not making his guys have to block for very long because he's just so explosive from that fullback spot, as he showed on that 9-yard touchdown on their opening drive, and also the couple of carries he's had since.
Be interesting to see how the Ironmen manage the clock here on this drive as Wolford drops back to pass. He's under pressure, and he goes down just past the line of scrimmage. Called a gain of 2.
Yeah, good job by Wolford. He noticed immediately that Simons was being bracketed by Lincoln Englehart and Jackson Barnett on the outside, and it just wasn't going to be there. So he pulls it, and he's ended up able to get positive yardage.
Daniel DeFrancesco, the 5'10 senior, making the tackle for Little Miami. 2nd down and 8. Ironmen line up 4 wide with Seitz in the backfield next to Wolford. Handoff to Seitz, and Seitz is going nowhere.
Yeah, and that's really the first time Seitz has gotten the ball to where he has not been a couple yards behind. He was actually back with Wolford and wasn't able to be as dynamic immediately. Actually does a good job to only lose 1 on the play, as he was hit 3 or 4 yards in the backfield. Maybe not 3 or 4. A couple yards in the backfield, but was able to fall forward and make this still only a 3rd and 9.
Carter Haney, the middle linebacker, came up and made the stop for a loss of 1. 3rd and 9 at the 33. Wolford looking downfield. He's got Woodard. Pass is complete. And Charlie Woodard gets just enough to move the chains.
And that's showing maturity there by Woodard. He knew where the line to gain was, just puts his head down and makes sure to get there instead of trying to make a spectacular play to maybe get 20, 30 yards. And instead, he just does what he can to get 10 to pick up the first and move those chains.
Slowly but surely, clock winding down here in the third quarter for the Ironmen. Jackson wanting to take their time. Here's a sweep out to Woodard out of the backfield. Woodard trying to get to the sideline, runs a man over before being pushed out of bounds. Called a gain of about 3.
Yeah, good work there by Woodard to pick up what he could in a couple of big hits on the sideline.
Give Jackson Barnett the credit on that tackle. Call it 2nd and 6 for Jackson.
Yeah, just good speed overall on the field, all around. Woodard doing a good job of just picking up the 4, but Little Miami is swarming him.
This is a Jackson team that had an up and down start to the season, 3-2 in their first 5 games. Here's a pass complete. Eli Davis down the seam. Eli Davis has some room and taken down inside the 10. Huge pickup for the Ironmen through the air. And they're set up at the 10-yard line.
Brought down by number 5, Jackson Barnett.
Yeah, and great work there. That's the second time they've hit Davis on the seam. And the senior does a great job of eluding the tackler and able to pick up positive yardage to get to a goal situation here for the Ironmen.
Eli Davis, as you said, 2 big catches to set up Jackson in the red zone. The Ironmen looking to convert, 1st and goal at the 10, under 5 to go here in the third quarter. They hand it off Simons, and he's dropped from behind after a gain of a couple. Tyler Fallett on the tackle for Little Miami.
Yeah, good job there, just picking up what you can. Just keep grinding away if you're Jackson. Try to get as tight as possible. Good work by Simons to pick up about 4 on the play.
Ironmen looking to push this lead out to 2 scores. Looking to take advantage of a huge pickup earlier by Davis. They toss it out to Simons on 2nd and goal. Simons gets to the outside and barrels his way into the end zone for a touchdown. 2nd touchdown of the night for Simons.
Yeah, good work there by the offensive line of blocking, and then Simons just getting to the outside. A little hobbled there at the end, but showing his toughness, working his way to get across the goal for the touchdown.
That's a grown man football play right there. 1 man standing in his way, lowers his shoulder, finds the end zone. Thatcher Brown out for the extra point out of the hold of C.J. Crabtree. Kick is away, and it splits the uprights for the extra point. 6-yard carry from Ryan Simons pushes the lead to 2 scores, 21-7. 4:01 left in the third. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Hey, Mike Glockner here from the Glockner family of dealerships. Want to talk to you about our express service that we offer at every Glockner location. Did you know that you don't need an appointment if you need a routine service done to your vehicle? All you have to do is show up. No appointment necessary. Stop by and let us serve you at any Glockner location today.
21-7 in favor of the Jackson Ironmen here on their home turf, as a 6-yard carry from Ryan Simons extends the lead to 2 scores. And we talked about coming into the second half how stagnant Little Miami's offense has been since scoring that touchdown. That could do a lot of damage. Basta fields the kickoff near the 15. Basta down the sideline. Lucas Basta got some room. He stepped out of bounds. But had they not ruled it dead, he was gone.
Well, you know, Basta's showing how dynamic he is, but that's also one of the reasons why you kick to the sideline. because even though he beats most of the men, you just get a touch on him, and he's going to more than likely step out of bounds. So even though it's a very good 30-yard kickoff return from Lucas Basta, it could have been an 81-yard kickoff return, maybe if he had a little more room to run. So,
got to wonder what that does for Little Miami.
Well, it makes it really to where you don't have to worry about airing it out right now because you just got a big chunk there.
Great field position, too, just shy of midfield. We have an official's timeout. Camden Fox back into the game. They're summoning a game ball. It's 3:55 remain here in the third quarter. One of 3 games in our coverage area tonight. Elsewhere, Ironton down at Shelby Valley, Kentucky. And the Megs Marauders playing host to the Reedsville Eastern Eagles. And some cross-division TVC action. 1st and 10 at the 49. Fox hands it off. And Andrew Trapp has almost nowhere to go. He barely falls forward for a gain of 1.
Well, and that's a big adjustment there by Jackson, where Trapp was picking up 4 or 5 a carry in the first half. We saw it on the last drive, it was down to 3. Now it's down to 1 on the first down. I think Little Miami's going to have to be a little more creative. I would like to see them use Lucas Basta, but he's off the field currently. Maybe getting a breather after that big kickoff return.
2nd and 9 at midfield. 7 in the box for the Ironmen. They hand it off. It's Isaiah James. And James had some room on the end around. Looks like he picked up the first down.
Yeah, good work there by James. Taking it all the way to the edge and cutting it upfield. Using his blockers for as long as he could, and then is able to get forward for the first.
And you mentioned about how you'd like to see Little Miami get a little more creative. Even when they're still running it, that's something that we haven't seen a ton is the use of Isaiah James on those jet sweeps.
Yeah, and really the only time they've looked for him was that little reverse pass that they ran on the last possession. He just wasn't able to pull it in, but he had beaten his man. So good speed shown by the senior.
Basta back in the game taking snaps. Basta working his way outside, trying to get some blockers, but he's taken down. Simons met him at the line of scrimmage. Flag down in the backfield.
Simons just, he sheds a blocker on the outside, or else, if the blocker is able to get a little extra room on it, Boston might be able to break that, but Simons just busts loose of the blocker and just blows that play up in the backfield. There's going to be a hold on the play anyway on Little Miami.
Penalty goes on number 62, Zach Siebert.
But outstanding work on the edge there by Ryan Simons, who has been, one of the best players on the field. Definitely skill position-wise.
And all year long last season, really throughout his entire time at Jackson, we've just seen him make play after play after play, offense, defense. He'll have an interception here. He'll have a receiving touchdown. We've seen him run the ball very well tonight. Just an all-around playmaker for the Ironmen.
You see it in every sport, too. You see it in basketball. He just makes plays. Baseball, great shortstop. Just makes plays. Just a winner overall.
Now 1st and 20 at the Jackson 48. James in motion. They hand it off to James. James trying to get around the outside. Flag down again as James taken down after a small gain.
We have another hold.
Ironmen do decline the penalty.
Although they walked it off. So
And that's what the Jackson coaching staff is saying. We declined it. And Nate Mahan is letting the official know about it on the far sideline.
Well, and it's back-to-back holds called on the same player, which you don't see a whole lot. And I'm not sure if this was if he got back to the line to gain on the play or not, but yeah, Mahan not happy about something on the outside.
Clock will run now, 2nd down and 20 from the 48. Fox back in the backfield, accompanied by Andrew Trapp. Three men here on the near sideline. 2nd down. Fox looking downfield, taking a shot, and incomplete.
Yeah, hit big time in the backfield. Good job there by Fox of just hanging in. But number 56, Jeb Thompson, got there in a hurry and put a licking on Fox.
So another 3rd down here for Little Miami. And they've got a long way to go to the sticks for this one. 3rd and 20 at the 48, down by 2 scores. Got to have a sense of urgency here if you're Little Miami. Already down 2 scores. Jackson busting the game open on that last drive. Fox downfield, intended for Stewart, incomplete, out of his reach.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Jackson brings a little bit of pressure there, making Fox uncomfortable after he gets the big hit. And then because of the pressure, his throw doesn't even get anywhere near the sticks. So now Stewart will be forced to punt. Had a couple of nice punts so far, the last one especially.
Stewart will punt on 4th and 20. Ryan Simons back to return. End over end punt near the sideline, and it sails out of bounds.
They're not quite as good as the last one. That'll happen.
I don't know if you think maybe he just was trying to not kick it to Ryan Simons.
Right, that's definitely a possibility because Simons has been so dynamic on both sides of the ball tonight, and really all three phases, all 3 phases as well.
1st and 10, they will mark it at around the 30, call it the 33-yard line for Jackson. Still 2:09 left in the 3rd quarter. See how aggressive Jackson tries to be with the ball here. Simons lined up one-on-one on the near side. Wolford fakes the give, and he'll keep it himself. Wolford's got some room, lowers his shoulder, and picks up the 1st down. Nice run by the senior.
Yeah, just another, just a nice athlete for Coach Hall to be able to, use in a variety of different ways. As Wolford does a good job there, pulling it and picking up the 1st.
And that's another guy we talked about, 3-sport athlete, does it all in all 3 sports, basketball, baseball, as well as football, his strong suit.
Yeah, he's a guy you would see they go to down the stretch in basketball as well because he just makes winning plays.
1st and 10 from the 48, minute 42 left. Here's the handoff to Seitz. Seitz tried to break free. He's tackled before 2 flags come out in the Jackson backfield. And a helmet comes off from Little Miami. Tanner Meadows lost his cap there.
If I was Meadows, I'd argue, hey, this play's getting called back. I shouldn't have to sit because it's not a real play. Obviously, jokes.
We'll go on Jeb Thompson, the senior left guard for the Ironmen. They'll walk that one back. Jackson next week will be right back here at Alumni Stadium to face Gallia Academy, an old Southeast Ohio Athletic League rivalry renewed. Then they'll face Wheelersburg right back here at home as well. Now 1st and 20 at the 38. Wolford drops back to pass. Got Woodard on the slant. And Woodard trying to break free. Gets tackled near the 30-yard line.
Yeah, just very simple. Just running the slant. Woodard does a good job. Crisp route. And then Woodard with a really nice pass to lead him there to pick up a gain of about 26.
It was like right when the ball hit Woodard's hands, he turned on the jets.
Yeah, just an outstanding pass from Wolford. I think I said Woodard twice there.
Now at the Little Miami 30. Coming up on 50 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and our clock doesn't do the best on the tenths of a second. So if you're going to see some weird times here in the last minute, that would be why. Because currently, yeah, was showing 4 minutes. But so we'll help you out on the clock as well. So nice gain there for the Ironmen.
Game clock currently about 2.5, 3 seconds shorter than play clock. Jackson does not have to run another play for the rest of the quarter. We'll see if they do. Coaching staff telling them to get lined up but not to snap it, as the Ironmen will walk this down to the end of the third quarter. 21-7. Ironmen lead, 3 quarters down, 1 to play here at Alumni Stadium in the Apple City. Jackson will start the fourth quarter at the Little Miami 25, looking to put this game away. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
At North Fork Animal Clinic, we're more than your pet's health care. We're your neighbors. We combine top quality veterinary care with the availability you can count on, keeping tails wagging and pets thriving. And as proud supporters of youth sports in Southern Ohio, we're committed to helping our whole community grow strong. North Fork Animal Clinic, caring for pets, supporting our community.
Fourth quarter set to get underway between Jackson and Little Miami as the Ironmen hold a 21-7 lead. Still look ahead to some coverage we have coming up here on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health. Sometime early next week, John, you and Shane Combs will have Overtime presented by Perfection One, our weekly podcast. Tuesday night, Shane and Dewey will be back in Frankfort as they were this morning to catch some SVC volleyball. Adina playing host to Unioto. And then next Friday night, Shane Combs and I will have the call from Joe Burrow Stadium in the Plains as the Athens Bulldogs play host to Paint Valley for week 2 of high school football.
Left out Thursday.
Thursday.
Dewey and
I did forget about Thursday.
We'll be down at Franklin Furnace Green. Southeastern and Green.
My apologies.
Thursday.
My apologies to the communities of Southeastern and Green.
Well,
if they happen to be watching this, I promise I did not forget about you.
Yeah, and then we got the Coach's Call-In Show, as always, the Haynes Total Healthcare Coach's Call-In Show on Friday nights to catch up on all the action.
Back to this game, 2nd and 5 from the Little Miami 25. It's a handoff to Gavin Seitz, picks up a couple for being stopped from behind.
It's going to be a pick up of about 3. So just to harp on the Coach's Call-In Show, Coach Hall called in last night. Outstanding talk with him. If you want to go back and listen to that, talked a little bit about tonight's game and the season as a whole for the Ironmen on our YouTube page under the Coach's Call-In Show. We got timestamps as well, so if you don't want to look at me for very long, you just want to listen to Coach Hall, we've got that in the comment, or not in the comments, but in the information system as well.
3rd and 3 at the 23. Wolford fakes the give. He's going to keep it himself. Bodie Wolford has the first down and more. Flag is down before Wolford gets knocked out of bounds by Jackson Barnett and Lucas Basta.
I don't know if Jeb Thompson got called for a hold, but he dominated his man. So there may have been a jersey pull in there that made that possible. But I like the read there by Wolford to see where his man was blocking and to bounce that to the outside, but ultimately it's going to be a result in a hold. Been a pretty clean first half, and this one's been a little more laundry on the field.
You get that sometimes in week one. You might have thought it would have been the other way around. But nonetheless, week one, people are still working the kinks out a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That'll make it 3rd and 13 from the 33. High snap, Wolford looking downfield, going for Simons. He overthrows him, and it's incomplete. As Lincoln Englehart on the coverage for Little Miami, it brings up 4th down.
And there was a man coming right off the edge for Little Miami, so good job by Wolford to get that away when he did, to avoid taking a big-time hit. Which could have really been kind of a game-changing hit, because he's probably going to fumble on that, which may have given Little Miami a slight momentum advantage.
4th and 13, Ironmen looking like they're going to go for it here. This stop would give Little Miami a little glimpse of life here should they hold the Ironmen on 4th down. Jackson in a 5-wide set. Wolford all alone, drops back, looking downfield. He's flushed, heading near the sideline, trying to go for a man on the far sideline. And we await the ruling. They're going to give him a catch. It's Charlie Woodard hauling it in. Are they? The officials will discuss. Incomplete.
Said he's out of bounds.
You know, I mentioned this to Shane last night when we were in Waverly. Obviously, we only have the one camera that you see that shows the wide shot, but if we had the ability to do it, it'd be nice to have a replay on that side to see if his knee was out of bounds.
I think where he just landed with the hands out. So
yeah,
and that's a tough call without the benefit of replay for the officials. So, and I'll say this: as a former coach, you like when you maybe don't like the amount of time it can take when the officials get together. But if the officials get together, that means they're going to talk about it and more than likely get it right. And that's what you want to see more times than not, is them get it correct.
Little Miami takes over at their own 33. Basta in the shotgun. Got to think this is maybe a do-or-die drive for the Panthers. First down, Basta keeps it himself, tripped before regaining his footing and getting tackled by a couple Ironmen.
Number 8, Lucas Basta, the ball carrier.
Give him a gain of about 3.
I will say, as someone who is pretty much producing this game as a whole, I am glad we have one camera, because
you wouldn't have to.
There's a lot of stuff, and flipping to the different cameras and whatnot. Kudos to those who have it.
You come back to the broadcast setup for one game, and you're doing all the work behind the scenes. Second down carry by Trapp. It's a small gain, and that'll set up 3rd down for the Panthers.
Well, and then, Kenneth came over and was helped to get our scoreboard more operational at the half, so shout out Kenneth Hay for that. So, like you said, I'm doing most of the work. Like, I still didn't fix the issue in the first half. So. But, yeah, I've been impressed so far with Jackson. Maybe not putting up massive points, but they've been very solid defensively after that first drive. And I like seeing Eli Davis getting his defensive line fired up here before this 3rd and 5 for the Panthers.
Crucial 3rd down here for Little Miami. Rather heavy set, the formation. Here's Basta on the keeper outside. Basta picks up the first down and falls forward. Basta showing off a quick burst of speed to move the chains.
Basta's been, after Simons, he's been just absolutely dynamic tonight. Been very impressed with the senior. Although we do have an injury on the field, which is why you're going to see our camera go down a little bit.
And with that, we will step aside as the injured player gets tended to. You're watching Ohio High School Football and Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
.905 remaining in the game as Dayton Kellner, the Ironman, shaken up on the field, being walked off.
He's had a nice game so far. Let's hope, even though he's being helped off, let's hope he can be back out there. Maybe if it's not tonight, because you're up 2 scores, let's hope that it is soon for the Ironman. He's a valuable player for Jackson.
5'9" junior, getting some starting run this season. Back to the action, clock running. Little Miami 1st and 10 at their own 46. Fox drops back to pass, complete on the far sideline to Isaiah James for a nice pickup. And a little scramble in the backfield after the play. No flags thrown.
I like the energy. You know, you don't, you know, these are guys playing a physical game. Not always going to be happy after each play with how your opponent plays, so I don't mind it. Especially if you're smart enough to not do anything to get a penalty.
Well, that's the thing I was getting at, is I don't mind any of those extracurriculars after the play. You just got to be smart, keep your composure, and don't cross the line too much.
Well, and good officiating there to just blow the whistle, break them up.
5 on the play clock, less than 5 rather, and Nate Mahan's going to have to burn a timeout.
And that's not great for Little Miami, as you know, you got 8:53 to go. You got to score on this possession anyway, because you take a lot of time on your possessions if you're Little Miami. So you got to try to preserve those timeouts, but they've taken a long time to get stuff in. I would say that's going to be one of their main things they're going to work on throughout the week, is we got to get our stuff in a little bit quicker, because they've moved the ball. Ultimately, they've only gotten the 7 points tonight against a really good Jackson team, but they've moved the ball. This doesn't look like a one-win team to me. You know, maybe I'm not saying it's a 5-win team, but I do think that they're going to be a lot more competitive this year in a majority of their games. Not a lot of people are going to be competitive with Anderson and Winton Woods, but I like what I see out of this team. But there are some things to tighten up on. Luckily for them, only week 1, but you can't burn the timeout in that situation. But you also can't lose the 5 yards, so you're kind of stuck in that situation.
Back to work at the 44, 2nd and 2. It's Fox on the keeper. Fox gets to the outside and dives forward for the first down. We've just seen all night long between Basta and Fox, able to get those gains that are just enough to move the chains.
Well, and then you've had Trapp in there as well, picking up 3-4 yards a pop as well. So it's a team that very run heavy, but they've done a good job with it. It's just Jackson bending but not breaking so far outside of that extended drive to start.
Now a 5 wide set for the Panthers. 1st and 10. Fox tries to throw, intended for Carter Stewart, incomplete, threw a little behind him.
Yeah, you got a big target there in Stewart, just unable to connect. But really, 1st down and 10. You don't mind it if you're Little Miami, because it's going to stop the clock. But like I said before, you got to score on this possession if you're the Panthers, if you have any chance of winning this game.
Still well in it are the Panthers, but they got to act quick. 8:19 remaining. They will have their home opener next week. They open up league play against the Turpin Spartans. Here's a handoff to Isaiah James on the end around. James lowers his shoulder, picks up about 5 or 6 yards on the carry.
Yeah, good cut upfield there. by James. On his previous carry, he was able to get to the edge, but a good adjustment there to see that the edge was not there, and is able to pick up 7 on the play, as opposed to a loss of 3 is what it would have been if he kept trying to extend it, and maybe even more.
3rd down and 3. This home crowd at Ironman, for the Ironmen, making a lot of noise.
Just kind of throwing our scoreboard or clock into a little disarray here.
And Basta's going nowhere on the keeper. Taken down near the Jackson sideline for a loss.
Yeah, just a swarming defense for Jackson. You have a good idea when Basta's got the ball what's going to happen. And they just stopped it immediately for a loss of 3. Ultimately, it's going to be just a loss of 2.
Wes Clegg on the stop for Jackson. Now 4th and 5. Game on the line here for Little Miami with 7 minutes remaining. And they're taking a while to get the play in.
Yeah, but if the game's on the line, you got to do things right.
Here's Fox dropping back to throw. He's got Stewart on the out route, complete for a 1st down.
Yeah, and really just you don't want to burn a lot of time, but at the same time, you just got to be efficient. This is what you got to be the most efficient that you've been all night if you're Little Miami. You got 25 yards to go now to the end zone. You got to get in.
Just a nice quick hitter there for the 1st down. Ball at the Jackson 25. Fox swings it out. It's Basta on the outside. Basta through traffic, and that'll move the chains once again. Panthers in the red zone.
Good play call there. You got a 2-on-2 on the outside with Basta, although he looks a little banged up as he's slow going back to his position on the play. But good play design, good blocking downfield, and Basta picks up about 11.
1st and 10 now at the 14. Here's the handoff to Trapp. Trapp breaks a tackle. Trapp breaks free, goes down at the 5. Some physical running action from Andrew Trapp. Little Miami knocking on the door. It's 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
Yeah, this is really the first time they've had offensive momentum since that opening drive. Have the Panthers. So like we said, for the Panthers, they have to get in the end zone here. For Jackson, you want to make them run some time. Get a stop if you can, but make them take a couple extra plays to get in.
1st and goal, Fox on the keeper. Fox lowers his shoulder, and he falls into the end zone for a touchdown. Panthers inch closer with 5:51 remaining.
Yeah, good work there by this Panthers offensive line. And they're going to cut the lead down to 8 now.
4-yard score on the keeper from Camden Fox. Cade Weinich out to kick the extra point. High snap. Weinich's kick sails through the uprights. And Little Miami cuts it to 21-14. We'll quickly step aside. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Experience the hometown Chevrolet difference. Check out our huge selection of Silverado trucks, Equinox SUVs, and the latest Chevy models. Priced to move and ready to hit the road today. Plus, with the Hometown Advantage, you get free oil changes for life and a 10-year, 150,000-mile limited powertrain warranty at no extra cost. That's real value and real peace of mind. Your hometown Chevrolet is proud to be your trusted local dealer of new and pre-owned inventory, delivering unbeatable deals and top-notch service. Visit us today at 501 West Emmett Avenue in Waverly, or start shopping online at yourhometownchevy.com.
21-14 in favor of the Jackson Ironmen. 5:51 remaining in this ball game. Little Miami not going away yet. A 4-yard keeper from Camden Fox makes it a 1-score game.
Well, and here they have squib kicked it twice, and they're 2 kickoffs. So they could squib kick it again. I think this is just too much time left to really, think about anything onside. It looks like they're still gonna put a little more into play here.
Simons and Wolford, the return men for the Ironmen, An onside kick attempt from the Panthers is unsuccessful, recovered by the Ironmen.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it that way, I think I'd prefer you just try to kick it a little deeper, because especially where Jackson had all their guys up. So they had their hands team in. It's going to be hard for you to, get some success on that. Good work by Hunter Long, the sophomore, to jump on that. But for Little Miami, you're still in position. You get a stop, you've got a chance. If you're Jackson, 2 timeouts for Little Miami. You want to run some clock, and if not, at the very least, get some points as well.
Panthers got a 4th down stop on the last drive and turned it into a score. Can they do the same? Wolford rolls out under pressure, breaks free, trying to call his own number, and gets positive yardage on the broken play.
I think that's the 3rd time tonight where there's just been some sort of miscommunication up front, maybe a ball handling issue. The timing was off on the snap. And that's the 3rd different time that Wolford has been able to use his athleticism to just pick up positive yardage there as he picks up 4. Big time play by the senior, even though he goes out of bounds, to just get the positive yardage.
5:42 remaining. 2nd and 6, Ironman line up in the I. They hand it off. Simons up the middle. Simons gets pushed back after some positive yardage.
It's going to be about a gain of 5, so you're going to have a 3rd and 1 coming up.
Thought at first Simons had the first down, but a couple white jerseys able to push him back.
And I think if you're Little Miami, you almost maybe wanted him to get the first there, because it's going to be tough to stop them here, and it's just going to run a little bit more clock, where at least you would have reset the downs and forced them to get 10 instead of just the 1 here.
Pretty much a clean slate there, if you will. 3rd and 1 at the 47. Wolford hands it off. Seitz being held back. Seitz being pushed backwards. Little Miami thinks they stopped him short.
I think he's going to get the credit.
Number 21, Gavin Seitz, the ball carrier.
The officials will converse.
Scrimmage by number 99, Chase Marshall.
Nate Mahan and Little Miami think that they have a 4th down, and they're going to bring the chains out to measure.
Officials timeout.
It felt like he was going to get it initially, and then he surged forward, but was able to ultimately get pulled back. But I think the forward surge may have gotten it, but we have a 4th, or something that you won't see on Sundays anymore.
That's right, because they're doing the...
Yeah, they've gotten rid of the...
It's like the tennis style
reviews. I was watching the other day, and they talked about the tennis style review and how quickly it was going to be, and it was like 3 minutes. I'm like, no, that's not the point. Like, this is supposed to be quick.
So here come the chains. If Jackson is given the first down, still want to credit Chase Marshall, the man who made the tackle, for an amazing effort.
Shout out our Kenneth Hay, getting as close as possible for us.
I would say it's just enough for a first down, Ironman. On 3rd and 1, Gavin Seitz gets just enough to move the chains and keep the drive going.
Yeah, good work there by Seitz, just hitting that hole once again. That's what he's done in those short yardage situations. Hitting the hole and then ultimately doing just enough to get that first down.
New set of downs for the Ironmen at the 46. Jackson looking to put this one away. 4.5 minutes remaining. Wolford fakes the give. He lost the football, and he falls right back on top of it. Hold your breath play
Fumble on the snap, recovered by Bodie Wolford.
from Jackson. As we are fixing our camera situation, we will be right on top of that.
Loss of a couple. Brings up
I'll try to keep you on top of things here. 2nd down and 12 at the Little Miami 48.
Be back with you on the screen in just a second.
2nd and 12 at the 48. Wolford in the shotgun. Sights lined up to his right. 2 men on the near side. Simons, one of them, they hand it off. It's Sights up the middle. Sights on the near sideline gets tackled after a gain of about 1. That'll make it 3rd down and call it 10.
This will be a big-time play here.
Sights, the ball carrier.
Coming up.
Met in the hole by number 10, Tanner Meadows.
Yeah, sorry about that. As we are now back.
The silver lining is you only missed 1 play.
Yeah.
It's a 2-yard gain. Didn't really miss a whole lot. Coming up on 3 minutes to go, Ironmen facing a 3rd and 10 at the Little Miami 46.
Yeah, and then you're back for the play of the game here.
Wolford surveys. He's got a man on the sideline. It's complete, and he breaks a tackle. Picks up a 1st down. Ashton Seymour on the swing pass. And that'll move the chains for a Jackson 1st down.
And he was bottled up, and Seymour just battles through the tackle. Great play by Seymour. Only a sophomore. His first touch of the game.
Ashton Seymour with a big catch. As you said, his first touch of the game. Andy Hall throwing in a little wrinkle in late, and it comes up clutch for the Ironmen. 2:45 remaining, 1st and 10 at the 35.
I think we're going to see a timeout here for Jackson.
Timeout. There was only 1 second remaining there on the play clock.
Jackson, that's their
First timeout of the half.
We'll talk about again that little wrinkle at the end of the game. They bring in Ashton Seymour. Hasn't had a touch all game. They swing it out to him. He breaks a tackle. I don't know how he got out of that, but he picks up a huge 1st down late for the Ironmen. .245 remaining in this one. Jackson looks to drain the remainder of that clock and move to 1-0. As I mentioned, Jackson has not lost a Week 1 game since 2010.
And not bad. Not a bad run there for the Ironmen. And really, I think a lot of people maybe thought this was going to be a walkover game, but I still go back. When a team plays as many good teams as they do, you're in such a big conference, you are going to be prepared for Week 1 no matter what.
You look at the ECC, that 3-headed monster of Anderson, Winton Woods, Kings, you know you're going to get some tough competition. 1st and 10 at the 35. They hand it off. Simons doesn't get very far. He's actually pushed backwards by a herd of Panthers. And Nate Mahan is going to burn a timeout. Or will he?
Yeah, he was sprinting out there to get the timeout. I think they may put a little time on it because he was out there in a
That's
hurry.
why he was hustling out there.
Timeout on the field.
And now, but this is where them having to burn that timeout earlier can come back to haunt you, because now you're down to just 1. You only had 2 to begin with after burning your first one on your last drive.
Well, and that makes it to where a 1st down, the game's over. More or less. Because as long as you time it right, and I would trust a winning coach and a 4-year quarterback, or at least a 3-year quarterback, to be able to run that clock down. So for Little Miami, this is a must stop on the next 2 plays. And realistically, probably 3 plays. And if you're Jackson, you want to do what you can to just not let Little Miami get the ball back.
This is a Little Miami defense that last season surrendered 34 points a game and almost 400 yards per game. You have to like what you've seen from this Little Miami defense all night long, but the game is not over yet. And they need a big stop as Andy Hall now has to burn another timeout.
Timeout on the field.
And that's something you don't really want to do if you're Jackson, because let's say you don't pick up the first, Little Miami scores, you would like to have the option of having those timeouts. So, but we've talked about this kind of throughout the broadcast and throughout the weekend. Week 1, you're going to see little things that you're not going to see later in the year. So it's going to be mostly administrative stuff as well. So, that's going to be something that they'll talk about and, address for the next few weeks as well.
And football's a game where you only play 10 games on paper. It doesn't seem that long, but it's a long season. And the things we're seeing on the field from both of these teams week 1, I can be pretty sure that it's not going to look the same come week 10.
Yeah, these are two teams that, are going to be pretty good football teams. I think Jackson has the higher ceiling, especially being in Division III as opposed to Division I. But ultimately, it's been a nice football game tonight.
2nd and 10 for the Ironmen at the Little Miami 35. As they line up 5 wide, Bodie Wolford in the shotgun all by himself. Eli Ray in motion, high snap. They hand it off to Ray on the end around, being chased to the sideline and taken down after a gain of about.
You're going to say he's out. And that's a big mistake because that's going to save a timeout. That is a big mistake by the senior.
They picked up 4 yards, 3 on the carry. But yeah, that's a huge break for Little Miami.
Yeah, because you get a stop now, and you're going to at least have time. You're going to have over 2 minutes, where it probably is down to about 120 if you just stay in bounds there, even if you don't get the first down.
3rd and 7. Wolford looking, steps up, and he's dropped at the line of scrimmage. Kyle Frith makes the stop. A huge tackle for Little Miami brings up 4th down.
Well, Little Miami's just giving themselves a chance in this game. And they've done a really good job defensively. And Bodie Wolford, normally you probably say, we don't want to take the sack. That's a good time taking the sack. So throwing it away where you're going to at least stop the clock. You force them to at least use the last timeout. And, one of the things, because you're going to be throwing the ball here, I would be guessing, I think you got to look for Eli Davis. If you don't look for Simons is your go-to guy. Woodard had at least 1 big catch in the game, but you hit Eli Davis twice down the seam. I would like to see them go with that again. It's a pretty simple route, and it's been dynamic for them, getting a good matchup for the tight end.
He's had 2 big catches tonight already. 4th and 8. Jackson can pick up a first down and seal the deal. Wolford looking. He's got Ray on the completion. Ray breaks a tackle. Eli Ray, it's going to be close. Little Miami's got a turnover on downs. They stopped Ray a yard short. And with 2:10 left, the Panthers offense is going to have a chance to tie the game.
Yeah, great effort by Ray. But where he catches the ball, he's got to go so far that Little Miami is just able to swarm around and bring him down a yard short of the line to gain. Big play by the Panthers.
They'll set up at their own 27, 73 yards, no timeouts, 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go for Little Miami. Fox looking downfield. He's got James wide open through his hands. Isaiah James was wide open, and the ball slips right through his hands, incomplete.
That was
sigh of relief if you're Jackson.
A great play design for Little Miami. They get their man wide open down the sideline, a little high, get a little more air under it, and that may have been 6.
We'll see how the Panthers respond. 2nd and 10 from the same spot. 5 on the play clock. You have no timeouts. You got to get the play off if you're Little Miami. They let him go anyway. Here's a throw for Stewart, incomplete. And that brings up 3rd down. It's a nice route by Stewart. Just Fox had trouble hitting him on the spot.
Oh, and good coverage as well for Jackson. A couple of different times they've ran a similar route for Stewart. They've connected before, but unable to do so there. Now we got a 3rd down, 2:01 to play.
3rd and 10 at the 27. Isaiah James enters the game in the backfield. Basta, one of the 3 men on the far side. Fox surveys the field. He's got Stewart. Pass is caught. He's knocked backwards and fights his way forward close to the 1st down marker.
It's going to be a 1st down.
They're going to move the chains. 1st down, Little Miami.
I'll tell you what, that also could set up, because there's a possibility of a hook and ladder later on because of the action on that play. They had the man coming behind. Good work there by Stewart to battle for the 1st.
Now at the 37, they swing it out to Basta on the screen. Basta makes a man miss, trying to get upfield, picks up the 1st down, still on his feet, and taken down at midfield. And there's a scramble after the play, some extracurriculars. And again, just got to be smart here late, but that shows the intensity of this game.
Yeah, and it's right now Jackson trying to sit on him, try to make him run a little more clock. I think we're going to have a discussion here because the scoreboard.
They were running the clock when it was a 1st down. I think there was about 10 seconds that ran off the clock.
But no, I don't know what they're doing.
And now
the chain gang is not even close to being set up, so that could be part of it. This has been that's about 17, 18 seconds that just went off the clock.
Yeah,
that
from the start of the last play to where we're at now. And there was about 1:30 when Basta picked up the 1st down. I think Nate Mahan's he's giving Camden Fox some input, but I think he was letting the official know about that while he was out there. Some clearance with the coaching staff.
Yeah, Basta went down at 1:32, and they're not going to get this play off until at least 1:12.
Fox takes a snap, rolling out. Looking downfield for Stewart in double coverage. It's deflected and picked off. Oh my goodness. C.J. Crabtree with the dagger for the Ironmen. Right place, right time. Seals the deal for Jackson.
Who was in coverage and got the deflection, but Bodie Wolford, but C.J. Crabtree with the play of the night to lock it up. But Mahan's going to let him know the back judge signaled that it was down and waited for the man way downfield. He's going to get his money's worth. I mean, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all, because the back judge signaled that it was hit the ground. Should have just waited, because another official came in with, from here, looked like the correct call. And ultimately, these 30 yards that are going to be tacked on aren't going to matter. But that probably matters to those Little Miami kids, because you're going to see your coaches fighting for you. But yeah, it's just an unbelievable play by C.J. Crabtree to lock this game up
Pass intended for Carter Stewart off the deflection from Bodie Wolford. C.J. Crabtree saves the day for the Ironmen. And all Jackson has to do is kill 1 minute and 4 seconds, and they're on their way to 1-0. What a sequence here tonight in the Apple City. C.J. Crabtree, the 6'4" junior, putting his body on the line and sealing the deal for the Ironmen. Victory formation after the penalties put them at the Little Miami 46. The officials taking a little bit to let them get set. And they're going to get a delay of game on Jackson.
Yeah, just a outstanding way to finish this one off. C.J. Crabtree with really the play of the game in a game with a lot of really outstanding plays.
Little Miami seemed to have everything going for them on that last drive. Just came up a little short. First kneel down from Wolford. He'll need just one more to officially close the book on a 21-14 win for the Jackson Ironmen.
Yeah, and you gotta give credit to Jackson for just taking the punches from Little Miami, who battled all night long. A great way to wrap up week 1 here in Southeastern Ohio.
Wolford kneels down a second time, and that will officially wrap this one up. The Jackson Ironmen win a thriller here on their home field and start the season in the win column. 21-14, your final score, the Jackson Ironmen over the Little Miami Panthers.
And that's the game with your score.
Yeah, just once again, just a great performance from both teams. You had one turnover the entire game, and it comes up at the end as C.J. Crabtree comes up with a huge play.
C.J. Crabtree, the winning interception with the minute 4 left, sealing the deal on a 21-14 win for the Jackson Ironmen. We'll step aside very quickly and wrap things up when we come back. You're watching Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.
Rathkamp Financial is a comprehensive financial services firm committed to helping our clients improve their long-term financial success. Our customized programs seek to grow, protect, and conserve our clients' wealth by delivering personalized service and expertise. Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member, FINRA SIPC. Please call us at 740-775-1040 to schedule a consultation.
Are you looking for the best deals on quality used trucks and cars?
Great news. Chillicothe Truck has what you're looking for.
Choose from a wide selection of makes and models. All vehicles undergo a detailed multi-point inspection and extensive reconditioning before hitting the lot. Our friendly team offers a no-pressure sales experience, ensuring you find the perfect vehicle to fit your needs. Plus, you can customize your ride with our extensive range of truck accessories, from bed covers to lift kits. Stop by 173 Rennick Avenue in Chillicothe or call us today at 740-773-8782 to get started right now.
Week 1 in the books from Alumni Stadium in Jackson as the Ironmen close out a 21-14 win over the Little Miami Panthers in a nail-biter. What a way to close out Week 1. Carson Francis and John Bruce with you tonight. John, what a game we had.
Yeah, just an outstanding game. The Jackson team came out with a nice first strike to score. Little Miami answers and then Ryan Simons breaks that big run to give them the touchdown lead at the break. Once it got to 2 scores, it felt like it was about over because you didn't know if Little Miami was going to be able to get back in it. They do another impressive drive to cut it to a 1-score game. They get the stop they need, but C.J. Crabtree comes up with the play of the game to ultimately get the ball back for the Ironmen, and they're able to take a knee to move to 1-0. Would you say every year since 2010?
2010.
Yep. So great start for the Ironmen, and like we mentioned throughout, Little Miami, I was pretty impressed with what they were able to put together. After you look at the record from a year ago, I would guess that there'll be a couple more wins on that side, which really is even better for Jackson because you get the nice first level points
against a Division I school.
Yeah, and then any wins that they put together are going to help them, and I would guess that's a team that's going to win more than one game, although it's a team that comes from an outstanding conference.
Yeah, and if I'm in the Eastern Cincinnati Conference, I don't know that I'd be too thrilled about seeing Little Miami on my schedule this year. They definitely showed that they're going to be a team to compete with this season.
Yeah, it's you get a new coach, you get a little, breath of fresh air there, and they've got some outstanding athletes as well. I was really impressed with some of the things they were able to do, but Jackson kind of did what we expected them to do, which was be very solid. No turnovers throughout the game. They just do little things right throughout. They have really good coverage in the secondary, especially late in the game. Bodie Wolford, a winner at quarterback. Ryan Simons, a winner. C.J. Crabtree comes up once again with that big play.
All touchdowns tonight were scored via the ground game. It was Gavin Seitz with a 9-yard carry to break the scoring open before Lucas Basta for Little Miami had an 11-yard keeper to even things up at 7. Ryan Simons followed that with a 62-yard touchdown to make it 14-7, the score that was taken into halftime. Simons scored again from 6 yards out to make it 21-7 before a 4-yard keeper from Camden Fox made it 21-14. That's when we thought this could get interesting. Little Miami got a stop on the other end, a huge 4th down stop. They stopped Eli Ray about 2 yards short of the marker. But then the big play at the end with 1 minute and 4 seconds left, Little Miami driving down the field, knocking on the door, and a deflection from Bodie Wolford in the defensive backfield. And right before the ball hits the ground, an interception from C.J. Crabtree to seal the deal for the Ironmen.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're going to see that play a few more times because just an outstanding play from Crabtree as well.
Once again, the final score from Alumni Stadium. Jackson 21, Little Miami 14. We'll step aside and wrap things up. We will wrap things up here from Jackson. Once again, a look ahead into our coverage. As far as streaming-wise, next week, Tuesday night, Dewey and Shane will have Unioto and Adina volleyball up in Frankfurt. Thursday night, John, you and Dewey will head down to the Furnace as the Green Bobcats host Southeastern in a Thursday night non-league showdown. And then Friday night, Shane Combs and I will have the call from Joe Burrow Stadium in the Plains, the Athens Bulldogs hosting Paint Valley.
And the most important one that's going to be there, Kenneth Hay. Going to be behind the camera of those games, and we can't do what we do without him being a big part of our team, as well as he helped throughout the stream as well tonight. So
both last night and tonight.
Yeah, so a couple other things. So it's overtime presented by Perfection One. That will be on, it'll be posted sometime on Monday. Maybe during the week we're going to see Bad Company with Brock and Derek. I think that may be an every other week type show at this point. And then Friday night, I won't be there this week. It'll be Jeff Miller, Christian Spradlin, and then a third host to be determined for the Coach's Call-In Show presented by Haynes Total Healthcare. And as always, by Ohio Health as well. Just one quick shout out. We're going to get you out of here just so, you don't have to go through our ads one more time. But we always appreciate Glockner, Glow Fiber, Ohio Health as always. Tomlinson Insurance, Wiley and Sons Trucking, Chillicothe Comfort, Rathcamp Financial, North Fork Animal Clinic, the Schmidt Family restaurant group, Chillicothe Truck, and then Hometown as well. So we appreciate all of our sponsors making this possible. And as always, you can check for scores. I know Brock was here. He'll have a really good story on sosohio.com. Probably tomorrow. If not, it'll be early on Monday.
One final time from Holzer Field at Alumni Stadium at Jackson High School. The Jackson Ironmen are victorious in Week 1, 21-14 over the Little Miami Panthers. From Kenneth Hay and John Bruce, I am Carson Francis. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's presentation of Ohio High School football on Southern Ohio Sports Authority, presented by Ohio Health.